Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm so excited to be on with you guys this morning. If you're ever wondering my typical time for being on, I would like to say it's sometime between the 9 o'clock hour, I would say, just because our current schedule is that Alex goes down sometime between 9 and 9:30. So that's usually whenever I get a moment to jump on and get some work done down here. It just kind of depends on our schedule with Claire and everything else. So today we are going to be playing with the Penguin Place stamp set and the coordinating punch. I know, the Penguin Punch is actually on back order, but for those of you who do have it, because obviously it is a hot item, and many of you guys did get it, and many of you guys still want it. So stay tuned. It'll come back in stock soon. You just, I can't even put a date on it because no one knows with the way logistics are right now with the world and the chaos and everything going on. So this is the Penguin Place bundle. And I just wanted to show you guys this super cute card. I've done a lot of cards that are Christmassy, but you can also get a super cute birthday look. And I think this is perfect for kids or even those who are kids at heart. Because I would love this card. I think he's absolutely adorable. And this color scheme I feel like is great for both genders. But you could always mix and match the color scheme to be more masculine, more feminine, the favorite colors of the recipient, whatever you would like there. So let's get started on how I did this. I'm actually going to be making two. As you guys know, I always cut extras whenever I have my classes so that I have cards to make for my my own card stash. So I have two of this one to add to my stash. So this is a pumpkin pie card base, and this measures 8.5 by 5.5. I really like orange and blue together. Maybe that is because I'm a U of I grad and we were orange and blue. So for any of my other U of I fans out there, ILL. Okay, so then we also have, I used Misty Moonlight. So it's Pumpkin Pie and Misty Moonlight. I really do like Pumpkin Pie and Night of Navy, but the Misty Moonlight sort of tones it down a little bit. I will say that the designer series paper that I did use is the Celebration Designer Series paper Penguin Playmates, which is no longer available, but you can see the backside of that penguin paper is this fabulous striped pattern. So really you could use any sort of designer paper pattern that you wish. Again, if you were to change up the color scheme of this card, then you would use a pattern that coordinated with that color scheme. So I'm actually, let's see, I can go ahead and add the blue to our card front because there's no special layering or anything like that I need to do with this. But I'm not going to add the Whisper White yet because I'm going to stamp the Whisper White. And I always suggest stamping before adhering. That way if you make any mistakes with your stamping, you don't have to rip up your entire card to try to fix that or modify it or anything like that. So, and this Misty Moonlight is just a 1/4 inch in, so it is 4 by 5.25. So there we have our card bases ready. And then now we are going to do those card fronts. So I actually have two pieces of Whisper White. The one piece of Whisper White is a little bit smaller than the other. This is the larger one. It's 4 by 5.25, and that's going to go on the inside of the card. So we'll decorate that. The other one is 3 3/4 by 5, which is just a 1/4 inch in from the Misty Moonlight, which will go on the front of the card. So we're going to start with those presents. And the 3 colors I'm using, of course, Misty Moonlight and Pumpkin Pie. And then the 3rd color that I went with was Old Olive. And then we have the present, which is one of the images from the Penguin Place stamp set. And okay, so you can go either way with this. If you don't mind your presents sort of like floating around or anything like that, which is completely fine. I don't necessarily think they're floating. I think they're just on the card. But if you want, you can wait to put on your designer series paper by simply like placing your designer series paper down and then just scooting it down just a hair more than you want it to be and stamping just above that. And then when we adhere it, we'll scoot it back up. So the first present we're going to do is Misty Moonlight. And I kind of like angled it a smidge. And then I did a second one over here. So that kind of gives that two-tone color without being like, which one did you choose for over there? And this one I think I'm just going to line up next to this. There you go. So now we have our presents. I can kind of see that visually all the way across. And then we'll go ahead and clean off the present. That's one of the like downfalls, I guess I would say, with this card is the fact that you have to clean off the present every time. Oh, and I should have went ahead and stamped the inside of my card so I didn't have to clean it off more times, but that's okay. So how is everyone doing this Friday morning? Are we excited? It's the weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little present on the inside of both of those. You can also stamp your envelope too. Who has big plans for the weekend? We are hopefully going to a pumpkin patch tomorrow. And our little Old Olive present. And a little Old Olive present on there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I feel like I still need to add a little Misty Moonlight present to the inside. So I just added the 3 little presents on the bottom of the inside. Perfect. And then now it's time for our balloon. Actually, we can go ahead and add that designer series paper strip. And this is just 1 inch by 3 3/4. So you can see I can like move my designer series paper up a smidge to avoid any sort of floating presents if I wish to not have that look. Do you guys like pumpkin patches or apple orchards or like the whole fall experience of apples and pumpkins and cider and stuff like that? I will say as a kid, I don't feel like we ever went to a pumpkin patch. I don't really remember that being such a big thing. But I also lived in a small town, so like we probably would have had to go, I have no clue where, to go to a pumpkin patch. Which is funny because there's actually a pumpkin patch just the next town over now, which is the one that I think we're going to go visit my parents and go to the pumpkin patch and hopefully ride in the combine. if some of you guys remember last year, I went live. I normally went live that day. I think it was like a Friday or something, and I normally went live. So I went ahead and went live because me and Claire decided to go spend the day in Carrollton and ride in the combine. So I showed a little bit of like the field and things like that. So if you guys are interested in that, I can always try to remember to go live sometime over the weekend and just show you guys what we're up to. Or I can always post pictures afterwards too. Okay. So for this, I actually did I want to call it a stem. I know balloons don't have stems. They have strings. I would say just make sure to stamp it pretty low because after all, the penguin can hold the string up here and the string can hang down. He doesn't have to hold it at the very bottom of the string. So you definitely don't want your balloon to be too high up by having your string too high up. So if anything, I would just do the string fairly low. Oh, geez, that was awful. Let's see if I can line that up because I'm missing my little curly cue. Got it. There's a slight shadow effect on the bottom, but I will say I hate these like really skinny, small images because they're difficult. They're difficult to not have the clear block rock, but also to get the full image, but also like, you know, like some images, like the balloon here, I can even almost like set it down and then just like press and know that it'll be okay. I can't set this down because it's going to like wibble wobble to the side. So it's kind of scary. Okay, that one was much better. It's also one of those that like I just strongly suggest like practicing because like the first one, you know, I'm like talking and I just kind of wing it, and then the second one I nailed it. So one of the other things that I strongly suggest for these solid images like the actual penguin, these two, and then the balloon, for images like that, I always find stamping on the mat to be the key to getting a nice, smooth, stamped image. So I'm going to bring out my mat. You can actually see through this stamp and through the pumpkin pie color so that you can put your balloon right at the top of that black string. Perfect. And this mat is just the mat that goes on the Stamparatus. So I just use the foam side of the mat from the Stamparatus to be able to do this with. You could use any sort of Stampin' Pierce mat or anything like that to be able to get that, that same look. Good morning, Liz. You love balloons? I love balloons too. I find them to just be so happy. They just kind of float around. When we have a balloon in the house, it tends to like live for a really long time. Claire absolutely loves balloons and playing like keepy uppy. Okay, so I will say for the penguin, I did go ahead and punch out the two. So the penguin has the black one is the larger image here for black cardstock. And then the white is this one. So I hold the punch upside down and I just slide the cardstock in enough to be able to do that. So I don't actually slide it in all the way and punch the foot and both pieces with every color. Instead, I slide it in like halfway and halfway. Good morning, Karen. Welcome. What is the temperature up there, Karen? I know with you being up north, then it's a little cooler than it is here farther south. I can't say I live in the south. I'm definitely like smack dab in the middle, but yeah, I bet it's a lot cooler up there than it is down here. So I went ahead and I punched my two penguins and I went ahead and added the eyes. Thank goodness The eyes are attached. So this is a single stamp with both eyes on it. So no need to have to like try to line up the two eyeballs or anything. So there's those two. And then there is the beak. And I will say this one here and the single foot are for this one. So the little sideways beak and then the single foot go on this penguin. And the double feet and the triangle, this triangle is the beak for the front-facing penguin. And this triangle is for the sideways penguin. I know my hands don't quite look like triangles, but a high of 80, that's not bad. That's like fairly similar to what we're in. I know this weekend there's a chance for it to get back in the 90s again, which is just crazy, but that's Illinois for sure. Okay, so I'm going to grab the bow tie and the double feet. You could always take the single feet and stamp them, but I'm going to do stamp them twice, but I'm going to do the double feet because then I don't have to worry about trying to line them up. It's funny, so I had this class this week, and Claire always comes down. She wants to say hi to friends, and she always says, I want to help. I want to help. Please let me help, which kind of breaks my heart because there's really not much help that she can do. But, like, she's asking, so, like, I feel bad. So the second time she came, like the first time she came down, class just started. She was going on a scooter ride. Go have fun. Go to your scooter ride. She came back and she's like, I want to help. And the ladies were like, oh, we're all done. And then she just like cried, like, I missed it. So I said, you know, we can stamp tomorrow and we'll play with the penguins. So we played with them and everything. And she got the beak like off to the side a little bit. And she goes, look, my penguin. It was like the cutest thing ever. And if that ends up being my, like, my screenshot thumbnail for this video, that would be hilarious. But you never know what Facebook's going to do. But yeah, so the beak was like off to the side and she's like, look, I look like my penguin. So that was absolutely adorable. But she had so much fun stamping them. And when she got the feet on the feet of the penguin, like she just like looked at me like it's that same magical look that every age of person has when they stamp. And when that ink hits that paper and you have that magical moment of like, I did that. That looks amazing. She had that same joy in her face. And it warmed my heart. Okay. My penguin. Oh, actually, this one I punched out the feet. So there's a little foot there. So I actually punched the feet on this one, but this one I stamped. Whoops. No big deal. The same person isn't going to get both cards, so no one will ever know. Except you guys, because I pointed it out. But that's the fun thing. You can do a lot of different things with stamping or punching, depending on the layered look that you're going for. Or whether you remember or not. Unseasonably warm up there? Yeah. I mean, I can't really say this is unseasonably warm because Halloween, you never know whether it's going to be snowing or whether it's going to be 80 degrees. Which kind of stinks because some costumes can be rather warm. So I'm just going to add my little penguin here where his hand, you guys can't really see that, but where his hand is kind of like holding that little string. Super cute. Okay, and then of course we have our birthday greeting, which we can do. I'm actually going to do it in Old Olive. I think it might show up a little bit better. This one I did in Misty Moonlight, but this one I'm going to do in Old Olive just to see what it looks like. I don't know. I think it's very similar. She can come to your house. You have laundry to do. She would help. She always wants to help. And for the most part, I try to let her help, but there's just some days that I'm like, I don't have it in me to dilly-dally or potentially make a bigger mess than we already have. You know, like sometimes she's like, I want to help do dishes. And I'm like, okay, let's help. And then other times I'm just like, no, I cannot mess with a mess on the floor. I need to hurry up and get these dishes done, and we need to move on. So yeah, sometimes I got it in me, sometimes I don't. But I definitely don't want her to lose that that spirit to want to do it, because after all, that's why we have kids, right? To help around the house. I feel like that's sometimes the way it was when we were kids, which of course you should help around the house because you're not just a guest at the house, you live there too. But I also have to remember she's 3, so I can't give her a ton of responsibility just yet. But we're working on a few things, like throwing her clothes in the dirty laundry, taking her plate from the table and putting it on the counter, stuff like that. Okay, so there we have our little birthday card, our little presents on the inside. See, and you can hardly tell the difference between stamped feet and the punched out feet. Like they pop a little bit more, you know, like they're a little bit more 3D, but it's not really that much of a difference. So now I'm going to add rhinestones to the presents because every present should have bling, right? So I'm just using the take your pick tool and just kind of press along the side of it. Pop it down. You guys, I'm telling you, using your take your pick tool to do that makes it so much faster and so much easier, and so many fewer ones go flying off. And I absolutely love it. Like, simply just use the putty tip, press on the side, press on the side of it to like push it off, and off you go. Like, it's amazing. Okay, so here's the 2 cards. I think I did different presents on this one. Oh, I just did one of each. And then this one I did all 3. Super, super cute. So that just goes to show that you can do a lot more with the penguins than just a wintry, Christmassy sort of look. You can still use it all year long for birthdays and things like that. Good morning, Pauline. Welcome. Thank you. Yeah, this penguin is he's just so adorable. Like, and then there's so many like fun things to do with the other images and stuff. You can even stamp them. I've used every image in here except the antlers, the scarf, and like the treat bag there. So yeah, here, let me go grab the other samples that I made and show them to you guys. So here's another cute one. This one is not holiday themed. This one is just a fun, you could maybe say it's a wintry one. But it's kind of just that perfect little happy mail card that you could send to a friend. It's got those little Fresh Freesia bling along with those adorable little hearts. And get it, the coolest friend. Hearts on the inside. And then this one is more holiday themed. I will say these use that Celebration Designer Series paper, and that has that bedazzling paper. So that's no longer available as Celebration ended last month, but I still wanted to show you guys these cute ideas because you could always mix and match the designer paper with any other print. So there he is sliding down. You can see he's got that like sideways beak and the single flipper. And then on the inside, he's got the double flipper and then that forward facing beak. But how cute is that? And then this is just a cute little gift box that has 3 3x3 cards on the inside. So super cute. This again, the polar bear was fussy cut from that designer paper, but you can see it still uses the greeting. And the 3 little cards on the inside are very basic little season's greetings cards, which I made a few extras of these, and I think I might use them as teacher gifts. So I did the little present and the stars on the envelope, as well as the inside of the card. So just a cute and simple little card that you could like attach to a gift, or a little like favor that you give to a coworker or a neighbor or something. But then the whole little gift box can be given as a gift. So you can double gift it. Give it to someone and then they can pass it along whenever they use the cards. How cute is that? So lots of penguin fun. I hope you guys enjoyed these super cute cards and are inspired to use the Penguin Place stamp set and coordinating punch. I will say that you could always stamp this one here. This one you might not be able to stamp since it's like layered on top, but this one and this one are all stamping. So if you have that stamp set but you're waiting on the punch, then you can still create these cards, but just stamp the penguin instead of punching him out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you're inspired. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you're stamping this weekend, let me know. Share what you're stamping. I would love to hear from you to see what you're doing and stuff. I don't think I'm going to be stamping. Like I said, I think we're going to the pumpkin patch tomorrow and visiting my parents. And then on Sunday, just house stuff and preparing for the next week. If anything, I might work on Halloween treats, but Claire is carrying around the bag of candy, so I'm kind of nervous to like open it up because then she's going to know that it opens and she's going to want the candy from the inside. So we're going to keep it closed as long as possible. So anyway, I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you guys back here next week. Love, hugs, and prayers to all of you guys. Stay safe and stay healthy. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.